Hello. In this short video I want to show you how you could use the uh, TypeScript for your SharePoint projects instead of JavaScript, and how to use the project called SP TypeScript. That's basically TypeScript definitions. So I want to do is a very short app that will be showing the colors of the tasks depending of uh, what's the percentage. First I will show you the application that I've already made, and we will build the same in this very short video. This is my list, which is created on the app web, and this is our custom formatting. This is we want to make it green if a task has a certain percentage, red if it's again. So the colors depend of the actual task data. So let's start to do that. But for use that, and I will use TypeScript for that. So we're creating a project. Let's call it, I don't know, my tasks 2. And this will be a SharePoint hosted site. And again, one of the things why I use TypeScript and TypeScript definitions is that I don't have locally SharePoint, and if I'm just using JavaScript, I have a problem. Where should I find the JavaScript IntelliSense for SharePoint? So in TypeScript I already have it. Okay, so we're going back. We are creating our application, and in a moment Visual Studio could ask us for connection to the site, and oh yeah, Visual Studio is asking us for login and password. Let's do that. I think that one, and we're here. Okay, so what we do next is let's create a list. This will be a list. Let's say add new item, be a list. We call it, I don't know, my tasks 2, and this will be a list of type tasks. We won't overcomplicate in this case. Let's just do like this. Oh no, it's better to do it my tasks. I have some code that I would maybe copy paste, and this will be easier for me. Okay. Visual Studio is connecting to SharePoint, and now what I want to do is I want to use a feature called script link, and I want to have there will be custom action, location is script link, and he will be my script. But now I want to use TypeScript. To use TypeScript, basically it's very easy. You just call manage NuGet packages. In online, just find SharePoint TypeScript, and it's there. Or you can find the command on the project, which is called SP TypeScript codeplex.com, which is basically a TypeScript definitions. Another way is to execute that command, which is basically the same as what we are doing, and this command will give us a NuGet package. Okay, we can proceed in any way. One more thing, don't push yes. To my experience, Visual Studio, maybe it's better, maybe it's because of CRC, will show you dialog with close button disabled, and you will never get out of there. Okay, so we have TypeScript definitions, and basically our TypeScript definitions are here. Here's all our definitions created for SharePoint. Cool. Now let's add a script that will be called this will be a TypeScript project, and this will be a TypeScript. Okay, and by the way, of course, I've skipped this step, but to use TypeScript, you need to, in Visual Studio, you need to go to the typescriptland.org, say, press get it, and push this button, download the plugin, and basically download and install plugin from MSDN. I've already done that. So I suppose that you have TypeScript, and my goal is just to show how to use a SharePoint specific. So this will be my tasks TS, and be sure that here you have TypeScript compile. And next step is I won't try to show you all files, and my task test should ideally create a JavaScript, but it's not doing that. The reason for that is because a TypeScript compile is by default supported only on the TypeScript projects. But we don't have a TypeScript project, we have a SharePoint project, and we want to use TypeScript for that. So what I'm gonna do is I want to find an instruction on the sp TypeScript codeplex.com. Here there is somewhere an instruction of what code I should do, and yeah, that's it. How to add definition to existing projects. So what I'm gonna do is unload the project, push edit, and here I have all the property groups I could have, and here is what I should paste here. So ES3, there could be ES3 and ES5 is basically an ECMAScript version compatibility. ECMAScript 5 is better as it supports some things like such properties. If you don't have it, you will have to call this weird set item and get item, but it breaks compatibility with Internet Explorer 8, and maybe you will need it. So we have it. Let's reload the project, and here's some other steps we could do. Let's do that. So now if I in TypeScript, what happens is that TypeScript is compiled when you build the project or when you save it, and it's save your file, and this can be changed in the configuration. That's somewhere saying like text editor, TypeScript. There are things for that, and I really recommend always say display virtual projects, because sometimes TypeScript doesn't see your TypeScript files, and it's essential to see that to understand why it's not compiling. So we have this our file. We sure that's TypeScript compile, and I rebuild the project. And let's now press show all files again, and you see we have two files, JavaScript and JavaScript map. Let's include them in the project. And these basically are the files that I want to be deployed as in my scripts folder. I made a little mistake, sorry. I wanted to have these files. I want to have these files deployed to SharePoint, so I need to have them in my module basically. So basically, you have TypeScript compile, and this will be should be an element file somewhere. So you need to have this. You need to be sure that your JavaScript and map file is basically put on your SharePoint. This is because you need to deploy them, and you need to have them in your SharePoint, because this is where they will be loaded. Map file is used to map the TypeScript and JavaScript for debugging purposes. So now we have element file. All these files are set to the script, are posted to the script directory, and technically what I can do is let's delete everything. You see that JavaScript is reloaded. Okay, and now I want to add this JavaScript to my list. To do that, what I can do is in my list I can say custom action, location is called script link, and script src is here saying site scripts and the name of my script, and here I'm not using TypeScript as I'm using JavaScript, because uh, TypeScript is my source. You can think of TypeScript as just like your C++ program that compiles to the native code. And let's say that this will be a native code, and TypeScript is our high-level language program. So let's try to and one more thing, just for convenience, what I will do is I have a default page, and I want to have a link to my list, so I could easily click it. So and this should be simple. Our page is pages/default, so we're gonna go back, gonna up one level, lists, and there will be lists. And is it my tasks? Yeah, this is my tasks. Right. So let's just go and run our program. So what I want to do right now is to be sure that my custom action is working, and I have my tasks.js script. So pressing F5, this will install an app for SharePoint. By the way, Visual Studio, starting from version 12, is very good at handling the SharePoint apps updates. I mean that if you have F5 in debugging session and you change something in your page, the page is going to be automatically uploaded to your SharePoint. By the way, and you don't need to redeploy the app. Unfortunately, it doesn't work straight away with TypeScript, because TypeScript generates JavaScript, and Visual Studio in this case doesn't notice that JavaScript has changed. But there's an easy workaround for that you can just go to your JavaScript, change anything, save it, and Visual Studio will upload it. So here is my application, here is my list, my tasks, and view source, my tasks. Yeah, we have it. Cool. So let's now go to the code itself. By the way, we can try to use what I told you. So we need to be sure that we have a setting that will general automatically compile scripts, compile and save. That's it. Right. So right now I'll copy paste some code from another place, but the first what we need to do is we want to use what we do is as the reference. So it was set up here, just to be sure we are not inventing something. We need to do is like this, but in my case I think it's a little bit different. So it's typings SharePoint, yeah, so let it be typings SharePoint. Sometimes I had here IntelliSense, sometimes I do not have. I still have no idea when I do have, when I do not. So SharePoint DTS, SharePoint DTS. Now we can use things from there. Let's do it. We have export function called init, and let's call it like this: options sp templates dot template override options new empty array, like this. And now we do options, we override on post render. There's no such function, so let's create one. Function on post post render, and let's think for parameters. Let's press F12. No, sorry, it's not there. So what I can do is I just copy paste a little one of the samples. Has a definition for this function. Right. Now what I do is speak client templates dot template manager dot template overrides options. Right. I can as you can see, your JavaScript has been changed, but it's not uploaded. If I press space back and save it, you see that here it says communicating with SharePoint and it's updated. So actually I can stay in my debugging session, and just in this debugging session I can do everything I want. So I will copy paste the code from one of the samples again, which is basically does formatting, and let's explain it a little bit. So this is a function that runs on post render, and this function takes basically all the data we have on the screen, and for each we parse a field person complete, and then we find the row in a document with a standard function. This is basically a SharePoint JavaScript function, but again, I don't have SharePoint JavaScripts here, but I have TypeScript definitions, which is basically, here I have this function that finds the ID of the item. Then I can find the row, and then I can play with it based on my data. Now, this is all cool, but there is one more thing. I need to basically call my function. Here's the code, also took from the samples. You can download the SP TypeScript project and find your samples. There's lots of them interested, and let's do like and this is basically initialization. And this initialization does the two very useful things. I want to check my tasks too, right? But anyhow, we'll have my tasks. So this is just a check, just for the we put our JavaScript only in this list, but just for the case it's put somewhere else, we're checking. So that is the right page. Then we call the standard, basically it's standard SharePoint function that says could you please call our function after the moment the client templates will be loaded, because our code depends on that. And then we call our function our module and our function init. And here's one more trick. So we call the function register module init for the case for the support of minimal download strategy. Minimal download strategy, to keep it simple, sometimes can lead to the case when SharePoint doesn't reload everything from the site, but reloads just some things. So we want to be sure that when it does it, that our function is also called, right? So site-scripts my.js, everything's fine. So we have a JavaScript code. So oh no, we don't have it. We don't have. Something's wrong. Yes, I messed up with the braces, must be. Yeah. So now it's okay. And you see a code is a little bit more sophisticated, but than we have in TypeScript, but basically it almost looks the same. But when you start using more things such as classes, you will see that the code in JavaScript will get more and more sophisticated. So I generally always use TypeScript because I hate having no strong type checks. For example, let's say we have here a misprint. Let's say I don't know. Let's do like this. So there will be an error. So basically I love using TypeScript. Okay, we have JavaScript. We upload it to the server. And basically what we can do refresh. and everything will be fine. We just forgot one more thing. We don't have any data actually for the tasks, but we can create it right here. So let's say create new task. And what was our numbers? 40 and 80%. Okay, so this will be a 90% task. See, it's red, and here there will be a 50% task. Set 50. So that's it. So we have our code running on this page. Again, I will summarize the things you need to do to support TypeScript. So you need to do a new get package called SharePoint TypeScript definitely type it, and you need to do one thing with the project, which is described at the URL sptypescript.codeplex.com, and that's it. From that moment, you can use TypeScript basically whenever you want. And yeah, and the last thing you're doing is your just to have your definitions, otherwise it won't compile, you reference it here. You could also do the following, because the JavaScript IntelliSense and everything is by default is using this file references.js, and you can do like this. So put it once, and then it all will work. It's essential not to forget that. If you're forgetting that, you'll have an errors. You should have at least. I don't know how it works. Should not. So maybe it remembers something, but normally it should not. So you need to do that here or in your TS file. That's all. Thank you for watching.